Hey, what's up? It's Symphony here. Subscribe to my brother Mr. Creepy as Hell channel, and when you're watching his videos, make sure you stay in one piece.
Here I am with my brother in the hospital for emotional support as I'm sitting with him as his wife is in labor. They're expecting their first child. They're expecting a baby girl, and he's over the moon, and I'm real happy for him. But as I'm hearing him talking about how he can't wait to do all these things once his daughter is born, I can't help but to think about how I almost was going to be a father and how I lost it all because we made that mistake of going into a stranger's house, not knowing who they really are and what they were capable of. But we were deceived, and this deception caused my wife to die, and it killed my unborn son. My name is Jake, and this happened to me 5 years ago. My wife Vanessa, who was 7 months pregnant with our son, Jake Jr. We were about an hour away from getting back to our place after leaving my brother's wedding. He had just gotten married to his wife, and as we were driving, we unexpectedly came across some really bad weather. I turned on the radio station where we were at, and it said there was a tornado warning that was in effect about a mile away from where we were driving at. As I was driving, I noticed that the clouds went from slightly gray to dark gray, and then it went from dark gray to black to greenish. I already knew that the weather was about to get wicked really fast. As we were driving, my wife suggested, "Jake, we need to find somewhere to take shelter at because I think the weather is about to really get ugly, and I don't know, I don't feel like it's really safe for you to be driving right now." "Okay, if you feel like we should stop somewhere and take shelter, I will, but I feel like I can outdrive this storm." And I stopped mid-sentence as I saw a baseball-sized hail crash my windshield, and then more of it started to fall, hitting up against my car. Immediately, I drove as my wife was screaming and panicking. I wanted to hurry up and find somewhere to go at because I didn't want my wife to get hurt or something to happen to our baby. As I was driving, I saw a house that wasn't too far off. It was very close. I took my chances and I drove up in the driveway, and I immediately got out of the car. I grabbed my jacket and I got my wife out of the car, and I put my jacket over her head so she wouldn't get hurt. As we ran towards the house and we knocked on the door, immediately the door opened up to two elderly women that immediately gestured us to come in.
Come on, guys, get out of the storm. It's not safe for you to be out there. Y'all can stay inside with us till the storm passes over. Be very careful with her, she's pregnant. I see.
Once me and my wife, Vanessa, dried off, me and her thanked the two elderly women for letting us take shelter into their house until the storm passes. "Thank you for doing this. We really appreciate you guys." Yes, like my wife said, thank you guys for letting us in.
Oh, no problem. We couldn't allow a young couple like you be trapped in a storm.
One of the elderly women said to my wife while looking at her stomach. But as I was watching this elderly woman looking at my wife's stomach, I noticed that she had her tongue out. It was almost like she was licking her lips. Maybe I thought I was reading too much into it, but at the time, that was a warning sign, and I should have grabbed my wife and told her that we would have to go somewhere else. But like I said, I wasn't thinking, and I regret my ways of thinking in this situation. "Oh, thank you. I'm 7 months pregnant. I'm having a baby boy." "Yeah, it's our first child," I added.
Oh, well, congratulations. I'm really happy for you two. I hope y'all become wonderful parents and have many blessings. If you don't mind, I'm gonna make y'all something to eat. I know you guys are hungry. And I go up there and help her out. Oh my goodness, where are my manners? We did not introduce you guys. My name is Margaret, and this is my sister, Maggie.
"Oh, well, nice to meet you, Margaret and Maggie, and thank you for giving us shelter and for cooking for us," Vanessa said while shaking both Margaret and Maggie's hands. A couple hours later, Margaret and Maggie came out with food. They made macaroni and cheese, homemade style, and homemade meatloaf, along with a side of biscuits, gravy, vegetables, salad, along with dessert, custard pie. I almost forgot about having that weird feeling that Margaret gave to my wife when looking at her stomach. The food was really good, and it smelled really good as well. Me and my wife digged in. As me and Vanessa were eating, we noticed that Margaret and Maggie were just staring at us. They didn't eat none of the food. They didn't touch anything at all. They was just watching us while smiling. The smile that they gave just felt off to me, and it made me feel very uncomfortable. I was poking at Vanessa to try to gesture her to look up, and when she did, she also noticed it as well. Vanessa tried her very best to play it off. "Oh, I'm sorry. I hope we're not hogging up the food. You guys worked hard to make it. We want to make sure we're leaving you guys enough. So sorry about that. You can dig in if you want to, guys."
Oh, don't worry about it. We're not hungry at all. We already ate. We just wanted to make you guys something because we figured you were hungry and y'all need to eat. Especially you, Vanessa. You have a growing baby inside you. Want to make sure that baby is strong and healthy when it comes out. Yes, exactly. We don't mind at all. We're not hungry. You guys go ahead and eat. Don't worry about us.
They said to us, reassuring us that we weren't hogging up the food. After we ate everything and had the dessert, we suddenly felt really groggy and tired. It might have been from the long day we had trying to outrun a storm, but me and Vanessa were super tired. Well, I appreciate you guys for giving us shelter, but it looks like the storm let up. Me and Vanessa will be on our way. We gotta head back. We still got a lot of road to cover.
Oh no, I don't think you should be driving at all, Jake. You seem very tired, and so does Vanessa. We have an extra spare bedroom you two can have for tonight. You can leave in the morning when y'all are well rested and ready to go, alright? I'm not gonna take no for an answer. That's for your safety.
Margaret insisted, but I really didn't want to stay overnight at these women's house. I didn't really know them that well to spend the night at their place. But then I looked at my wife Vanessa and I could tell she was very tired. So I put her interests before mine, and I agree. Alright, Margaret, you win. I guess we'll spend a night here. Besides, I could really use a bit of rest. Feel really tired all of a sudden. Just like this wave of drowsiness just came in all of a sudden. Appreciate it, guys. I'll let y'all lead us to our room.
Alright. Right this way.
Maggie said to me and Vanessa as she showed us our room. When we got in the room, it was a really big room. It had a queen-size bed for me and Vanessa to share. Overall, the room looked nice. Wasn't nothing interesting, just a basic room. It had a bathroom inside as well.
Alright, I got you a little gown here you could change into, Vanessa. You don't have to wear those clothes to bed. I'll take them and I'll wash them. They'll be clean by the morning before you guys leave out.
Oh, thank you, Maggie. That would be really nice if you can. And I appreciate the gown as well, Vanessa said as she took the gown from Maggie. A few minutes later, me and Vanessa got comfortable and we were already in bed. I was looking at Vanessa, was getting ready to ask her a question when I noticed that she already fell off to sleep. I figured she was very tired, and that's when drowsiness started to affect me, and I fell off to sleep. I don't know how long I was knocked out, but when I woke up, I felt like something was off. I felt on the other side of the bed for Vanessa, but when I felt on her side, I didn't feel anything. I immediately jumped out of my bed, and I cut on a light, and to my horror, Vanessa was gone. I tried my very best not to go to worst case scenarios. I was thinking that maybe Vanessa went to the bathroom. But when I looked into the bathroom and I saw the door wide open, it was empty and it was dark. So Vanessa was not in there. I slowly opened the room door and I walked out of there into the hallway looking for Vanessa. I was calling out to her lightly because I didn't want to disturb anyone. I was thinking that maybe Vanessa went downstairs to get her something to eat. Maybe she was hungry, or maybe she needed something to drink. But when I looked her all over the house, I didn't see Vanessa. And more stranger, I didn't even see Margaret or Maggie. They were nowhere to be found either. As I was looking around the house to see where Vanessa went at, I noticed something that caught my attention. In the backyard of Margaret and Maggie's house, there was a barn house. I never noticed it before. I looked closer at it, and it seems like something was lighting up inside the barn house. I figured it had been a candle based on how the lighting in the barn house looked. I went outside and I walked it over there slowly. And as I was walking over there slowly, I heard something that sounded like chanting. I was trying to process what was going on, but I had no idea what was happening. I walked closer to the barn, and it to me sounded like Margaret and Maggie, but they were speaking a different language that I never heard of before. A few moments later, the chanting stopped, and I walked it closer to the barn house because I wanted to know what was going on. And plus, I was about to ask Margaret and Maggie if they seen Vanessa, but I was kind of afraid of asking them after what I heard in that barn house. I walked closer and I decided just to look through the window to see what was going on and why were they making that weird chant. When I looked in the window, I almost felt like I was going to die. Laying in the bed with ropes tying their hands and legs was Vanessa, and she had blood all over her as well. And then my blood ran cold when I saw Margaret and Maggie. They looked completely different. They didn't look like the older women that took us in earlier that day. They looked like something out of a horror movie. Their skins were all scaly, and they had orange eyes and sharp teeth, and they had sharp nails. It didn't even look real. The only way I could tell that it was Margaret and Maggie, because these creatures that they turned into, they still had their hair and the accessory that they wore when they first let us into their house, plus their glasses as well. And plus, their voice still sounded the same. I was wondering what was going on, and then I saw something even more horrific. I saw Maggie walking towards Vanessa and rubbing her stomach. And then Maggie was telling Vanessa,
Don't worry, Vanessa. You're doing this for a great cause. You're doing this for us so we can keep our enchanted youth that we had for 1,000 years. Your baby is gonna taste real good. We are really starving. The moment you and your husband came in, we were excited because we knew we found a meal. And on top of that, you're gonna have a delicious baby boy that we're gonna devour.
The minute I heard that, without any hesitation, I barged into the barn house. And when I did, I saw Margaret and Maggie looking at me like I committed the greatest sin ever. They gave me this look of evilness, like I wasn't supposed to be in here. But I didn't care. I wanted to save my wife, Vanessa. There was no way in hell I'm letting these women try to eat her and our unborn child up. What the hell are you people? And what are you doing with Vanessa and my unborn child? I heard you. I know what you're about to do. Y'all say y'all are about to eat my unborn child and Vanessa, and I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm going to take her right now, and I'm getting the hell out of this house. You two are some crazy ass bitches, I said in a demanding tone. And then Margaret and Maggie looked at each other, and then they talked in unison and said,
Oh, Jake, you should have stayed where you were at. If you had been asleep, it would look like you went missing. That wasn't really smart coming up here. Now we gotta take care of you as well. We'll be eating you as well. But first, we're gonna take care of your wife and your unborn child, because that's where we get most of our energy from. There's nothing you can do to stop this, Jake. We're hungry. Please, let us eat your wife and your unborn child.
I ignored them and I ran towards Vanessa, trying to set her free. But the moment I done that, I felt this force that came out of nowhere. It felt like invisible hands were grabbing my whole entire body, and it slammed me into the wall super hard, where I may have broken several bones. I remember yelping out in pain, as it was really, really bad. I couldn't even move. And then Margaret came up to me and said,
Jake, what are you doing? Do you think we're really gonna let you just walk out of here and take her? Sorry. Your wife is the key to our eternity and our fountain of youth. We want her and that baby, and we're gonna have it. You can't move. You're paralyzed in pain. Now, Maggie, let's get started. Ready when you are.
I tried to get up as I saw Margaret and Maggie walking towards Vanessa, but I was in a lot of pain, and I didn't even realize it when I looked down. My legs was dislocated, and it was bent in an odd way. I was in so much pain, but I didn't care. I tried to use all my willpower to stand up, but the pain was more powerful. I had to lay there as I watched Margaret and Maggie stand over Vanessa as they started to chant. I stood there in horror as I didn't know what I was going to do. I desperately wanted to get up and help her, and I wanted to get my wife away from whoever these women are, and I wanted to try to save her and my unborn child. I knew I couldn't live life without both of them. I tried to get up. I tried to push my body, but no matter how many times I tried to get up, the pain was so bad that it almost made me lightheaded and nauseous. I couldn't move. I tried everything. I tried one more time, but I couldn't get up. I was in so much pain, and then I yelled out, "No, I'm not going to allow this to happen. I'm not letting y'all take my wife and my unborn child. I'm not going to let this happen." As soon as I said that, they stopped the chanting, and then the moment of horror happened. Maggie ran over to my wife super fast, and with her nails, she cut open my wife's stomach. And what I saw next will really wreck me and damage me forever. I don't think I can ever recover after what I saw next. Maggie cut open my wife's stomach, and then Margaret came by my wife, and then she grabbed our unborn child. The child was small, and I can see these sick creatures looking at the baby like it was just a piece of meat to them. Both Maggie and Margaret laughed as drool was dripping down from their mouths, and then Margaret and Maggie both bit into the baby. I saw blood splattering everywhere. They ate my unborn child's legs, and they ate my unborn child's head. And then Margaret grabbed the umbilical cord and chopped it and then slurped it up like it was noodles. I recoiled and I vomited. And then after that, they began to eat at my wife. And once they done that, I already knew Vanessa was gone. After they ate her in full, they turned towards me, and they were thinking, should they eat me? And then that's when they walked it slower towards me, and I couldn't handle it anymore. I blacked out. When I finally woke up, it was morning, and I was outside in a field area, and I looked around, but I didn't know where I was at. I looked around, and I saw a bunch of officers surrounding me. I didn't know what was happening. I tried to talk to one of the officers about the situation I was in, but I blacked out again. When I woke up, I was in the hospital, and after recovering for a bit, which was about a day, they told me that my wife was missing and they couldn't find her. I tried to explain to them about what happened about Margaret and Maggie, the two elderly women who lived in a house together. But when I told the officer about it, he told me that that address doesn't exist, and there was no house where I was at. It's all land. But I assured the officer that I did see these two women, and they had my wife and my unborn child. But the officers were persistent and they told me that no one lives out in that area. That's when I realized that I was a prime suspect. They thought that I had something to do with it. But I assured them up and down that it wasn't me. I was never charged with anything for Vanessa's disappearance, but many people believe I had something to do with it, especially Vanessa's family. They think that I may have killed her, but that's not true. It was those two women, or what I thought were women, that did it. Here I am now with my brother, watching him become a father. Every day I can't stop thinking about Vanessa and our unborn child, Jake Jr. I would have had them right here with me. My son would have been 5 had he survived. It's not right. I hate the fact that I lost my son and my wife, and I'm never going to experience a family like them again. It's being called one of the most shocking deaths in the content creator community. Kelly Nicole, who's known for her YouTube and TikTok videos criticizing and making up rumors about celebrities and content creators alike, was found deceased inside of her home. Reports said that her entire insides, were missing, as well as an arm and a leg. As her fans grieve over her death, critics of her are not feeling the same, as some are happy that she has died. Here's what a couple of people are saying about her deaths.
Man, it's unfortunate. Like, I really, really love Kelly Nicole. You know, a lot of people may not like her, but I love her. Like, she's raw. Like, she basically says what everyone else is thinking, but they're too afraid to say it. You know, she's not afraid. You know, love her or hate her, you gotta admit, she had balls.
Kelly Nicole, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not gonna shed any tears for her. She's a very horrible person. She's been exposed like several times, making up lies about people just to gain fame and clout. I don't care nothing about her. Be honest with you, I don't care how politically wrong this is. I'm glad she's dead. No one has to endure her freaking content ever again. Especially after what she done to Andrew. You think I'm gonna shed any tears for that woman? Hell no.
There seems to be a lot of mixed reaction about the death of Kelly Nicole. While some love her, some hate her. My name is Jeff Williams, and we'll be back later today at 5 to bring you more details about the shocking death of content creator Kelly Nicole. It seems that the death of Kelly Nicole is sending mixed reactions across the world. Some love her and really miss her and feels like she left a legacy behind, as others don't really care for her at all. Matter of fact, a lot more people hate her than love her. That's the kind of legacy Kelly Nicole has left behind. She was even voted the #1 most hated content creator because of her content that she makes, spreading lies and gossip about other people. Some people even call her the Perez Hilton of YouTube and TikTok. So how did this happen? How did Kelly Nicole become this hated person on social media, become one of the most despised person on content creator community? Everyone either hate her or love her. There was no in between. Well, we have to go all the way back to 2020, just on the height of the pandemic, when everyone was in their house, bored, and couldn't really go anywhere. Everything was closed. Kelly Nicole, who was bored and just got laid off from her job, really was feeling the effect and was depressed. Damn it, why does it have to be so hard to find a fucking job? This is crazy. No one is hiring. Either I'm underqualified or overqualified. This doesn't make any sense. If you need people, you would call someone. Kelly Nicole said to herself after applying to 50 jobs. She was frustrated and couldn't understand why no one would hire her. Kelly Nicole then went in her refrigerator and grabbed some wine and sipped on it as she went through TikTok. As she was going through TikTok, she saw a whole lot of people creating dance moves and doing other things on TikTok once it took effect in 2020 while everyone was staying at home. She realized how cringe some of these things were. Now, at the time, Kelly Nicole just had a TikTok page. She didn't have no videos on it. But this made her want to post something on TikTok talking about how some of the people's dance moves and their way of talking and some of their opinions are dumb. She didn't know if it was the wine that she was drinking, but suddenly she found herself creating a video. Hello guys, my name is Kelly Nicole, and this is my first TikTok page. I want to do a little bit of a rant and an unpopular opinion. First of all of you are not fucking dancers. Y'all dance horrible, okay? I am so sick and tired of seeing untalented people using this damn app. You're not contributing to anything to society. And besides, the reason why I'm posting on TikTok because if dumb, ignorant, and people who are stupid and not funny and can't dance can get famous, I'm pretty sure I can get famous as well. Anyway, Kelly Nicole signing out. Bye. After she was done recording, she uploaded it on TikTok, and then she said to herself, now let's see if this will go viral. I highly doubt it anyway. After she uploaded her rant on TikTok, she closed the app and she sat down and watched some television. Soon she fell off to sleep. A few hours later, she heard her phone dinging with a bunch of notifications. She opened up her eyes thinking that she received some text, and she did. It was some of her friends, and they were telling her that she needed to check TikTok. As she was looking through her text, she noticed that she had a ton of notifications through TikTok. She looked on TikTok, and to her shock, her video, her rant, got up to 25 million views in a span of 7 hours, as well as 7.8 million likes, as well as 2 million comments. 90% of those comments were agreeing with her, saying how real she is, or saying that finally someone has the guts to actually tell the truth. But many people on the comment section was telling Kelly to do more videos like this, and so she did. For the next few days, Kelly would record videos about her unpopular opinions about content creators and celebrities, and the videos gained traction. Every single one of those videos will garner over 20 million views. Eventually, Kelly managed to hit 10 million followers on TikTok. She even made a YouTube channel called Kelly Nicole Hates Everything, and that managed to garner over 6 million subscribers. She was getting tens and 20s and even hundreds of million views across both social media platforms. She was getting popular. She even managed to get some interviews as well, and was able to be on several famous TV shows to talk about her YouTube and her TikTok page. She was making more money than ever, and with the money she made, she was able to move out of her apartment and get herself a nice fancy house. But in May of 2021, a year after she blew up, the views for her video on TikTok started to dwindle, meaning that she was getting less revenues. She noticed this as well, but she was desperate to stay relevant and desperate to keep her career on social media going. She even noticed that her views on YouTube were dwindling as well. Her videos, each time she uploaded, would at least get about 4 to 7 million views within 24 hours, was barely getting 1 million views within 2 days. She wanted to stay irrelevant, she would do anything to keep her career going. Kelly then started to go around and search on the internet to figure out how she can increase her views on YouTube and TikTok, but there was nothing. That's when something strange happened. As she was searching on the internet about how to keep her YouTube channel going and TikTok going, she noticed that she got a notification email. She looked on there and there was a link. In the link it said, Kelly, hesitant to click on the link, decided to click on it anyway, and when she did, her screen went all green, and then something popped up. It said troll. She clicked on the word troll, and then a hideous creature popped up on the screen. It was indeed a troll creature with green skin and patches all over his body. He had sharp teeth and green eyes, and then all of a sudden, the troll creature disappeared on a computer, and then she heard a laughter behind her. Kelly jumped as she turned around, and she saw the same creature that was on her computer right in front of her. Her heart began to beat to the point where it felt like it was going to explode. She looked at the creature while shaking her head in denial. No fucking way. This can't be real. Okay, Kelly, I think you may have overdone it on the caffeine. There's no way I'm looking at a creature, a green goblin creature standing right in front of me. There's no way.
Oh, but you are. Kelly, you desire more fame, don't you? Don't you? You want to be more famous than ever. I could tell. It seems that your YouTube channel and your TikTok page is suffering from a lack of views. I can help you. I can help you become more famous if you follow my lead. People love a good troll. Make up things, lie. Do all you can, and I will help you become more famous.
So you're telling me just to make up stories and to lie, and you're gonna help me become more famous and get more views? Oh my God, that's amazing. Thank you for the advice. I'll do it. Huh. Wow, you may be a weird looking color creature, but you sure do give good advice.
Now, my help does come with a price. I don't give away help for free, Kelly. It's gonna cost you an arm and a leg. Are you willing to give me an arm and a leg for this advice? And I'll make sure to help you become more famous than you ever was before.
Okay, that's completely fine. I got plenty of money. Like, it doesn't bother me. You just name your price and I'll give it to you right now.
Oh no, Kelly. I'll accept your payment later. I'll get back to helping you out and to make sure you're the biggest internet troll the world has ever seen. Goodbye.
After that, the troll disappeared and returned back to the computer screen. And then Kelly's computer went back to normal and went back to her home screen. Kelly was sitting there thinking, I really don't know how to feel about this. Does he actually think he can make me famous if I lie about people? I mean, I don't want to lose my morals. I mean, I'm a girl that gives my honest opinion about things. Oh, what the heck. You know what? Why not? Let's take some risks and chances. What's the worst that can happen? And besides, I'm already losing views and subscribers and followers. It's not like I'm gonna lose any less because I do this. Kelly then looked around on YouTube and on TikTok. She was once the most followed person on TikTok and the most subscribed person on YouTube, but that spot got taken from a guy named Andrew. He was a guy that tells scary stories, and that's when an evil and a malevolent smile grew across Kelly's face, and she had the perfect idea to gain more views and subscriptions. She figured that she would just lie on Andrew, and she had the perfect idea and the perfect way to lie on him. She was gonna make up a story about how all of his scary stories and videos were stolen by someone else and how unoriginal he was. Then she started recording. Hello everyone, Kelly Nicole here. So, listen, I'm making this video because I want to expose this Andrew guy who tells scary stories. First of all, I want to give my opinions on him first before I expose him. He's not a great storyteller. There are other scary storytellers that are way better than him, and he doesn't deserve his following. But with that being said, this is also the reason why he does not deserve his following. Andrew is a thief. From my sources, I've come to find out that he steals other people's stories and he does not give them credit. He takes their ideas and he uses them and make them his own. He doesn't even pay his staff and his crew well at all. No one should be supporting Andrew, okay? He is fake, unoriginal, and lame. Oh! Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'm Kelly Nicole. See you later. Kelly stopped the recording and then she uploaded it on TikTok and YouTube. Within a matter of 24 hours, her video received over 50 million views on TikTok, as well as 75 million views on YouTube. She realized that this was something she could start doing, as many people were skeptical of her, but much more people believed her. And it resulted to Andrew losing some revenues, and even some of his sponsors stopped working with him and cut him off. Andrew was furious at the lie that Kelly told. He tried to clap back and come on social media and to tell his side of the story and to convince everyone that what Kelly was saying was not true. Despite Andrew's fans believing him, no one, and I mean no one, in the mainstream media believed Andrew, and he lost everything. Andrew was hurt by this, and he cursed it Kelly Nicole. But Kelly did not care. As long as she was getting paid and becoming more famous, she did not care. And her ego got bigger and bigger. She continued to make more videos and lies about other content creators, to the point they started losing followers and revenue. Kelly became even more bigger, gaining more subscribers and becoming even more famous than she was back in 2020. Her fame reached even newer heights, to the point she was able to get a syndicated TV show called Kelly Gossips. A few days later, Kelly was sitting at the bar waiting for her friend Leah to join her. They were going to celebrate Kelly's success and her new syndicated TV show. Kelly looked up and she saw her friend Leah walking in through the door. Leah raised her arms and waved it back and forth, trying to get Leah's attention. Leah turned and saw Kelly waving her arms back and forth, and she began to walk towards the table that Kelly picked out for her and Leah. Leah grabbed a chair and sat down. "Hey Leah," Kelly greeted Leah with a huge smile on her face.
Hey Kelly, how you doing?
Leah asked. "Oh, I love the fame. I'm doing really well. I love how everyone hates me or how everyone loves me. It's really hard to be famous sometimes. The money, the power and the fame and all that. Plus, getting your own syndicated TV show really makes haters really hate you even more. But that's the price you gotta pay whenever you're making up stories about people. Oh, I love it. Oh my God. Fame. It's so great. I almost died at one point. My career is over, but it's better than ever." You okay? Kelly asked Leah as she noticed that she looked at her with a concerned look, looking down and breathing hard. And that's when Leah responded.
Okay, I want to be happy for you, but it seems like this fame is getting to your head.
Appalled by her remark, Kelly then angrily said, "Excuse me? Fame getting to my head? Are you kidding me right now, Leah? Oh my God. Oh, I know what it is. You have to work 36 plus hours working as a nurse, and you're jealous of me that I'm more richer and more successful than you. That's what it is. It's jealousy. Look, it's not my fault that you're not successful like me. Look, it's not pretty and it's not cute to be jealous, Leah. Cut it out. Take that jealousy somewhere else.
Jealous? You jealous of you? You see, this is what I'm talking about. You've changed.
Look, honey, the only person that changed is you, okay? Not me. You're just mad because you have to work a real fucking job, okay? Now, if you're not gonna be happy for me, then get out of my presence, okay?
You know what? Fuck you.
Then Leah grabbed her purse and got up from the table and walked out of the bar. Kelly responded by saying, "Well, fuck you too, jealous ass bitch. I don't need you." Then Kelly proceeds to take another shot of her alcohol and then walks out of the bar. A few days later, Kelly Nicole was getting ready for her TV show. She was in the dressing room, getting herself prepared, and that's when she heard a very familiar laugh. Well, if it isn't Kelly Nicole. Oh, it seems that you became a success overnight. Everyone knows who you are. But I'm afraid it's time for your payment. Remember I was telling you that it was gonna cost you an arm and a leg for me to help you become more famous, correct? Oh, that's correct. So, how much you want? I don't know, 500,000, a million? Name your price. I can give it to you. But the internet troll smiled while shaking his head. When I said that this was gonna cost you an arm and a leg, I meant an arm and a leg. That was the agreement, and you agreed to it as well. I don't want your money. I'm an internet troll. I don't need money. I need your limbs. Wait, you're joking, right? You want my arm and legs? Oh, no, I'm not doing that. That's not gonna happen. Too late. I'm gonna take your arms and limbs. The internet troll began to float towards Kelly, and then the troll had his hands on her legs. Kelly began to scream and kick the troll to the stomach, and then she tried to make a run for it out of her studio, but the studio door was locked. She banged on the door. She tried yelling, calling out for help, but no one seemed to come to her aid. The troll walked it slowly, and then, in the moment of horror, the troll grabbed her legs again, and this time, he succeeded. He ripped her legs off. Kelly can hear the bones snapping and crunching as she screamed and yelled. And then the troll quickly grabbed her arms and began to rip it out of its sockets. Kelly, somehow was still alive, felt the agonizing pain, a pain that she's never felt in her life. She couldn't scream as blood was gurgling up through her mouth. Kelly then passed out, but the troll was not done quite yet. The troll used its sharp nails and cut a hole inside of Kelly's stomach and began to grab out her intestines, everything inside of her stomach. He grabbed out her heart, and then he put it all in the bag. And before he ran off, he said one last thing. What a very stupid woman. You know nothing's free in life. Now, I will take everything I harvest from you and keep it for myself. That's the price you pay for being an internet troll and a liar and a deceiver. An hour later, one of Kelly Nicole's producers of her syndicated show came into her room and saw the horrific scene and called 911. And that's when her news made national headlines. The death of Kelly Nicole. My question is for the listeners that's listening to this story. How far will you go for internet or social media fame? Are you willing to lose all your morals and all your compassion and your pride just to make a quick buck and to be famous? Will you end up like Kelly Nicole? Or will you have more pride in what you do and have an honor to stick by? Of course, Kelly sat up there and didn't honor no code. She let her pride and ego get the best of her. Kelly Nicole lost a lot of respect from people and lost her friend and now she lost her life. There's so much to take from this story. So much lessons to be learned. But one thing to learn from this is to be a good human being. Don't lie, cheat, and steal your way to the top. Be decent. Or else you're gonna end up like Kelly Nicole, missing an arm and a leg, or both arms and legs, while also missing your heart and your intestines as well. Second of all, never accept any deals from the internet troll. Remember, Jack, this is all you're doing. It was your addiction that put you in this situation, that put your family in this situation. Now you gotta pay the price, the man said to me as I was bleeding and bruised all over, bones aching. Several bones were broken. I sit there in this farmhouse, realizing how much of a shitty person I am, how I am a deadbeat father and no good husband. And I put my family through all this because of my fucking addiction. This happened because I have a gambling addiction, and it was a very huge problem that I had. My gambling addiction caused us to go bankrupt, and my wife was threatening to leave me and take the kids as well. I needed to fix everything, and that's when I ran into him, Carlos. He had a business that he owned called Carlos's Loans, where he gives up to about $10 million in loans. I ran into his business when I was driving, trying to clear my head after the ultimatum my wife gave me at the time. I saw his business and I thought to myself, in order to clear up my gambling debt, which was, I'm ashamed to admit, was about $5.7 million, I parked my car in the parking lot of the business and I walked in. I was met with a receptionist and I asked to speak to the owner of this facility. She called out for Carlos and then he stepped out. He was a man who had on a nice clean cut suit. He had on a fedora hat. He had on some alligator shoes that looked really shiny just from looking at it. The shine was so bright it nearly blinded my eyes. Well. What do we have here? A new customer. Welcome to Carlos's Loan. My name is Carlos. How may I help you, boss? He said to me while walking up to me with a huge smile, holding his hands out, gesturing for a handshake. I shaked his hands back and I answered him. How you doing, Carlos? My name is Jack and I was wondering if I can get a $8 million loan from you. I'm in a fucked up situation and right now I really need to make things right with my wife and kids. I'm really a screw up and I know you don't want the personal stuff, but I really need to pay off a debt so my family can be, living in a comfortable spot financially and so my wife won't leave me. I need your help, sir. I really need this $8 million loan. I got myself in a very large gambling debt and I don't know what I'm gonna do. My wife is threatening to leave me. She's threatening to take the kids away from me. I screwed up. I need help. It looks like you're promising. Can you please promise me something, sir? Can you please promise me you can give me $8 million in loan and I'll definitely pay it back. I don't care how long it takes. I just need to fix up my mess, sir. I can't do that for you, Jack. I'm sorry. Look, you're a first-time customer and we usually do not give out that much for first-time customers. And second of all, I gotta take a look at your credit. And even if I do, you have to work your way up to get that kind of a loan. I mean, the most I can do is start you off is at $5,000. And that's usually not how much I start off my first time customers. I'm usually go lower than that. So I am taking a gamble by even starting you off at 5,000. So I'm sorry, Jack, but 5,000 is all I can start you off. And if you pay that back, you just gotta work your way up. And if you work your way up, then yeah, I would feel more comfortable giving you $8 million. Especially after you told me you got a gambling debt. Like, that's kind of risky for me and for my business, Carlos explained to me. But I kept on pleading with him. I even told him about a promotion at my job that I was gonna get, that was gonna pay me top dollars, and that I would be making more than enough that would help me pay back the loan of $8 million faster. I pleaded with him. I told him, "Come on, sir, please. I have a job, though I'm going to be paid $2 million a month. I know I can owe you it back, sir. Is there anything you can do?" Carlos puffed it a bit, looking up at the ceiling. He turned his chair around about a couple of times, and then he turned back to my direction and looked down at me. And then he told me, "Okay, listen, Jack, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have you sit in the front office, and I'm going to talk to my associates and see what we can work out. Give us about 15 minutes, all right?" 15 minutes had passed, and Carlos came out. He told me to step in his office, and I did. "All right, Jack, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and lend you the $8 million, but you're going to sign a 200-page agreement knowing that you owe me $8 million back plus another $2 million back in interest. So altogether, your total is going to be $10 million. Now, that's the only way you're going to get that money. And you're going to sign another agreement, meaning that if you don't give the money back, you're going to suffer consequences. That's the deal here. Sure, I'll do whatever it takes. Go ahead and give me the paper and I'll sign anything you need me to." "All right, sounds good to me. Let's go ahead and get you started." After I signed the necessary paperwork, I was able to get the $8 million a couple of days later. Afterwards, I was able to pay off the debt, and I had a little bit extra left over to pay for some things and fix up the house, and I was able to have a little extra money to take care of the wife and kids. Everything was perfect. My wife didn't leave me. I was able to be a father, but I blew it once again when that urge to gamble returned. And when I gambled, this time I earned an even higher debt I had to pay. It was close to $20 million. I was really messed up. My wife left me because she got frustrated that I fucked up again. And not only that, the company, Carlos's loan, I kept on getting threatening phone calls and emails about returning their $8 million plus the interest that I promised to pay up as well. I didn't have the money. I was frantic and wondering how I was going to pay them back the money. And to make matters even worse, I lost my job as well. I was nearly on the verge of being homeless. My wife was gone, my kids were gone. I had them coming down my neck, wanting their money back plus interest. I was really in a fucked up situation, and I really was trying to think of any way, if possible, how I was going to get money. I decided to think about it over a bottle of beer. As I was heading to a bar, there was a large white van that pulled up beside me, and before I knew it, 3 heavy-set men came at me. When they put the bag over me, I remember smelling something really strong, and I blacked out. When I came to, I was in a farmhouse. I was surrounded by a bunch of men with guns and weapons, and then a familiar voice came out from behind those men, and he stepped forward, and he said to me, "Damn, Jack, you know, if it's one thing I hate, it's when a customer violates the agreement that we had. I was nice enough to you to loan you $8 million, even though it went against my policy, but you took advantage of me. It really pisses me off when people take advantage of my niceness. Jack, there's a price to pay, and clearly you didn't read all the agreements. Because of that, I wanted to show you something." Carlos pulled out his phone, and what he showed me was a father and a husband's worst nightmare. It was my 2 kids and my wife. They were tied up. My wife, though, she was in worser condition. It looked like she was beat up badly. She had blood all over her face. She looked like she was crying. My 2 kids, on the other hand, didn't have scratches on them, but I could tell that they were crying as well. Carlos, what are you doing? Why are you dragging my wife and kids into this? Especially my kids, they're young and innocent. They have nothing to do with this. Please have mercy on them. Please, I'll figure out a way to pay you back, I promise. Carlos was unfazed by my plea. He looked at me, and then he told me something. You know, I'm usually not the type of guy that will go after a man's family. But in your situation, I gotta use drastic measures. Now, I'm gonna ask you, do you have the $10 million you owe me? No, I don't have it yet. Just please give me time. Carlos frowned when I told him the answer, and then he called one of his goons over, and that goon started to beat me up. His fists were large, and each time he hit me, it felt like my bones were cracking and breaking. After the goon got done beating me up, he positioned me back into the chair. And then once again, Carlos asked me if I had the money, and I told him no. And once again, one of his goons beat me up. This went on for several hours until I couldn't feel anything. I was in pain. My lips were busted. My nose was bleeding. My bones were hurting and aching, and I could have sworn I had a broken bone somewhere on me. And then Carlos said something. You know what, Jack, I changed my mind. You don't have to owe me the money at all. Matter of fact, you're free to go. But since you can't owe me the money back, you violated an agreement that was also in page 150. I'm killing your family. That's the only way you're gonna pay your debt to me. I strapped bombs on your wife and kids. I'm gonna blow them up right now. No, Carlos, don't do that, please. I'll do anything. I'll sacrifice myself if I have to. Don't take my wife and kids, please. I pleaded to Carlos as I was trying to stop him from pressing the button that was gonna blow up my wife and kids. Carlos looked at me, and then he punched me in my gut extremely hard. I fell to the ground. Carlos looked down at me like I was a pile of shit, and then he said, remember, Jack, this is all you're doing. It was your addiction that put you in this situation, that put your family in this situation. Now you gotta pay the price. You are a lousy father and a husband. No real man puts his family through the shit that you're putting your family through. I know, I'm a horrible father and I'm a horrible husband. Look, Carlos, if you kill me, I have a life insurance policy that's worth $20 million. You can take out on me. You can kill me, just spare my wife and kids. Carlos looked at me, and then he was looking up in the air like he was thinking. And then he grabbed out his phone and made a phone call. You can come in. I got him where you want him. He's all yours. And then you can walk off in the sunset with me. Before I can figure out who he was talking to, the barn door opened up, and who I saw coming out was something I was not prepared to see. It was a woman, and not any woman. It was my wife. She was looking at me with this huge smirk on her face. She looked at me with this evil glaze, and she said, I appreciate everything you done, Carlos. I'll take it from here. I knew he had money put up somewhere, and now I'm gonna collect on that $20 million debt that you owe me and our daughters. You're a lousy father, Jack. I can't believe I got kids with you. At least Carlos is much more of a real man than you. He would never ever put a woman and a child in harm's way like you did. But here's one way how you can redeem yourself, Jack. Be a real man, a real husband, a father, and just die. Before I had time to respond to her, my wife pulled out a gun, and she shot me multiple times. As I was fading into consciousness, I can see my wife kissing Carlos. She was smiling, bragging about how she was gonna be rich and how she was gonna pay off all the debt that I owed and clean up my mess. I decided to take my death as a man. I figured that she's much better off without me, and my daughters are much better off without their deadbeat father who just keeps gambling his life away. So I accepted my death.